I feel like stewardship is one of the things that we don't put our health in that context.
Yeah.
Stewardship in its basic definition is the responsible care for something that is given into your, is responsible care for something that is of value.
Yeah.
Right?
The value part is huge.
Yeah. So the underlying thought there is you only steward those things which are valuable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You only take care of those things which are valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not taking care of yourself, you obviously have a lack of value.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lack of value in yourself.
Wow.
You have to. It's basic logic.
Yeah.
If stewardship is a means of valuing something and you're not valuing your health, you are not stewarding it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like churches and pastors need to realize that your stewardship of your health starts with value, and then the idea of stewardship also implies empowerment. God doesn't give you something to steward that you have no power to take care of. He doesn't give you something it's like you don't buy your kid a car if they don't have the ability to take care of it. Right? You're just you don't have that. But if God gave you this body, which we see in 1 Corinthians 6, it's up to us to steward it. So it says, so Paul obviously in this section is talking about using the body in, not using your body in a sexually immoral way, right? So basically doing things that we know are harmful to us. Right? So that's the context. And he says, some of you say, quote, food was made for the stomach and stomach for food. This is true, though someday God will do away with both of them. But you can't say that our bodies were made for sexual immorality. They were made for the Lord. Like we skip over that part. They were made for the Lord, and the Lord cares about our bodies, right? So we skip over we just think, don't go around philandering and, going crazy. Don't do that. But we forget that why shouldn't we do that?
Our bodies belong to the Lord.
Our bodies literally belong to Him.
That's good.
Right? And then we skip down to 15. He says, don't you realize that your bodies are actually parts of Christ? So not only does your body belong to Him, but your body is a part of His body.
That's good.
Should a man take his body as part of Christ and join it with a prostitute? No, of course not. So we shouldn't do things that we know are obviously harmful to us physically and to the body of Christ.
Right.
And then we skip down to verse 19, and he says, don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you?
Come on.
And was given to you by God. You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price, so you must honor God with your body. Yeah. So when you go and eat like a child at every meal, are you treating your body like it's God's or like it's yours?
That's right.
Right? So it's like I feel like we've got such a disconnect. We focus so much on your prayer life, we focus on your devotional life, we focus on, your finances, leading by example in your family when it comes to your actions and your words and your mouth. But I don't hear anybody from the pulpit saying, but your kids will literally do what you do.
That's right.
When it comes to physicality, when it comes to health, your kids will look like you.
Yep.
And if you're setting your children up for metabolic dysfunction, how are you leading by example?
Right.
And not knowing is not an excuse.
Yeah.
Because I've got a supercomputer right here in my hands.
Come on.
And ChatGPT could do it all for you anyway. So not only that, it's got a brain. So you don't even need the brain anymore. You just need to ask. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have no excuse.
Right.
The real thing that we're running into is, yes, we know we should steward, but we refuse to take responsibility.
Hey, let me show you a secret. 25% off the entire Bless God shop through Sunday night when you use this code right here. That means you can get 25% off our prayer journals, which have never been on sale like this before. And we did something extra special. We brought back the He is Him collection, as well as the Priest Provider collection. And when you pick up some Bless God merch, when you pick up some He is Him merch, when you pick up some Priest Provider Protector merch, what you're doing when you're putting it on, you are reminding yourself daily what you're representing when you go out into your day. So bless God, remembering to live a life that brings blessing to God and isn't just chasing blessings from God. The Priest Provider Protector line, remembering what it means to be someone that is the priest of your home, the protector of your home, and the provider of your home. And of course, the He is Him, pointing people to Jesus and reminding them that ultimately, regardless of what the world says, He is him. Don't snooze this time. Don't play yourself. Go to blessgod.shop. Use this code right now to get 25% off through Sunday night. I'll see you over there.
For our bodies.
Yep.
And we start blaming it on other things, or we live, you know, with the tyranny of the urgent all the time. Everything else is more important. And then one day when diabetes sets in or cancer, now I need a miracle. You know, you're praying for a miracle now when you didn't want to take responsibility for your health before.
Yeah.
So it's just a really unfortunate.
You said something interesting. You said you don't have to pray for healing if you do the preventative work.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't need a miracle from diseases of lifestyle.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Because lifestyle is your choice of living. Right? Most of the diseases we run into now, the thing that's killing most of us is heart disease. What, 700,000 people die a year in the United States from cardiovascular disease. So we know that it's preventative. Like we know. We know if you eat relatively well, exercise well, get sleep, don't smoke, don't drink too much, you know, live a life of moderation, then the chances of you dying of a heart attack get reduced pretty significantly.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're dying at the same rates as everybody else.
Yeah.
So
Dying
why
at the same rates as the world.
Why?
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we're in the same boat.
And so that was the first part was kind of like, hey, you need to change your perspective on this.
Yeah.
You need to change your perspective around stewardship.
Yeah.
Around taking care of our bodies. And then was the second point that we're now living in this world of just complete, utter inundation of information.
Yes.
And not all the information is good.
Yeah, that's
Right?
that's where we're getting into a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have to realize, especially when it comes to social media. Social media was a huge advance for us in a lot of ways, but really it's a setback in more ways than not. I know we're on social media here, but I think it's how we use it is a big deal.
Yep.
And what it did was it gave everyone with a voice or with an opinion, it gave them a voice, right? And not everybody who has an opinion has the right to be heard.
Right.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So you've got all these guys who are out there that they're 19 years old, they worked out twice, and they've got abs, and now they're all telling you what you should eat and how you should do
they're
it.
fitness influencers.
Yeah, they're all influencers.
Yep.
But when it comes to the food side of things and just the landscape we live in, dude, it is a minefield because we have to realize the majority of it is driven by profit. It's not driven by health. It's driven by profit only. So the more marketing companies will say and put on their packages, whatever it takes to sell more, it's whatever buzzwords are going around, organic and heart healthy and low fat. And, you know, we've got non-GMO now. And, you know, it's like whatever word is trending right now, we're going to put it on. There's stinking low carb potatoes, low carb potatoes, keto bread.
Yeah.
Like those words don't even go together.
Right.
Keto bread.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like
Keto, there's some good keto cookies out there, though.
yeah. I mean, yeah. But tell me what it actually is.
It's just a high fat, low carb cookie.
Exactly. But it's just funny, right? But they'll sell you this stuff, and you think you're doing something good because all the buzzwords are clicking with you.
Yes. Like, what do they call it? A health halo.
It's the health halo. Yeah. It's like if I buy organic, then I should lose weight. Well, what happens if you eat too much organic things? Math still wins. Right. Right. So the context we're living in is very just confusing. And navigating this context now requires skill. It requires learning and the ability to apply information and decipher or filter out the BS in a sense. You know,
you said health is skill acquisition.
Nowadays.
And you said it's a skill acquisition. And so unpack that for me.
So the reason I put that, I came to that conclusion when I started like thinking about, like, if we think like my great grandparents didn't have to think about working out. Why? Because they were baling hay all day and working outside and chopping down trees and digging stuff and working with cows and, you know, or where I'm from anyway, we're all country. So fitness was built into living. And the food, we didn't have 1,000 different, you know, processed foods. They're putting out 15,000 new food items every year.
Yeah, that's
when
crazy.
I say food items, I just mean things that come in packages that you probably shouldn't be eating anyway.
Right.
And usually they're just a combination of seed oils, sugar, and some form of wheat gluten or whatever else. You know, it's a million forms of crackers and cookies.
Yeah. You know, the crazy part is when I discovered the subsidies the government was giving to corn
Yeah.
and to sugar fields, sugarcane, because they didn't want to import their corn and they didn't want to import their sugar from other parts of the world.
Yep.
And so they started subsidizing all this stuff. And then it just so happens that all of a sudden everything has high fructose corn syrup in it.
Yeah,
and
of course.
corn is a huge ingredient. And then all of a sudden salad dressings have sugar in them. Like,
Yep.
what are we doing? You
Yeah.
know? And so like when I started looking at that and the fact that there's certain things that are in more foods because the government
Yep.
is pushing these things through subsidies, I was like, dude, this is crazy.
And what do we think of subsidies as like, oh, the government's helping out. No, the subsidies are about dropping costs to make it more affordable, one for the producer and one for the consumer, right? So it's about money.
Yeah.
So how on earth can I get 2 Jack in the Box tacos for 99 cents? Think about it. It's a taco. It's a tortilla. It's meat, kinda. You know, it's got all these ingredients. It's got somebody putting it together. It's got wrapping. It's got bags.
Yep.
It's 99 cents, but an avocado is $5.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it's because your taxes are helping pay for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about the skill acquisition, it's more about learning how to navigate this environment, to eat well, live well, exercise well, and not fall prey to the typical marketing, the typical, you know, superfood this, biohack that, which some of that stuff is great. But for the most part, people get hung up on splitting these hairs and trying to optimize when 80% of how they're living is broken anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you're optimizing for what?
Yeah.
1% of 1%?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things like the supplements, the biohacking, the sauna, you know, all those things I think are if the rest of the meat and potatoes are in check, right? So if like you're already eating in a caloric deficit, you're getting the right amount of protein, then you can start tinkering with like, I'm taking a liver,
liver pills and
you know,
whatever
liver
else. Yeah.
pills, or I'm taking these things. It's like, well, are you even getting enough protein in before you're doing all this other stuff, right? I was thinking about that. Jeff brought up one of our friends who does all this stuff, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, what is your macros like? Like, what are you eating day to day? Do you get, you know, 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of protein a day in you before you're doing infrared sauna and all this other stuff? You know,
That's a big thing too, and we like to major in minors.
Yeah,
we love to major in minors, and in the U.S. especially, we're very reductionist. It's like, just give me the one thing that's going to fix all my things.
Yes.
And you're like, oh yeah, I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't.
Yep.
Right? You are a holistic person.
Yep.
You're a whole person that has many facets of you and different inputs that are required. So if you can get the sleep right, you can get the food right, you know, mostly protein, you know, lots of good animal products, lots of fruits and veggies, minimally processed foods and junk foods. If you get those things right and you're working out good, you shouldn't need to biohack your way to health.
Hey, shh, come here. Got something special for you. 25% off the entire Bless God shop, including our prayer journal. Some of you guys have been procrastinating getting yourself one of these and investing in your spiritual discipline of growing in prayer. We got it in black, we got it in tan. Well, this is the weekend. Get one for yourself, get one for your loved one. Start writing in your prayer journals to better recall the things you're praying for that God is answering, and to structure your devotional in a way where you have praise reports and prayer requests, you got prayers for other people, you have prayers for yourself, a memory verse, and a little hack in terms of what you're going to get done today. Bless God shop, entire store, 25% off, and this is it. This is the code you use right now through Sunday night, and of course, we have all the apparel, the He Is Him collection, the Priest Provider collection, all back this weekend only. Go pick it up. I'll see you over there, all right?